Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Any instrument or instrumentality used in fighting or hunting. Any projection that is thought to resemble a human arm. The arm of the record player. A division of some larger or more complex organization. The part of a garment that is attached at the armhole and that provides a cloth covering for the arm. Prepare oneself for a military confrontation. A human limb. Technically the part of the superior limb between the shoulder and the elbow, but commonly used to refer to the whole superior limb. Supply with arms. The U.S. armed the freedom fighters in Afghanistan. The part of an armchair or sofa that supports the elbow and forearm of a seated person. Any instrument or instrumentality used in fighting or hunting. He was licensed to carry a weapon. A means of persuading or arguing. He used all his conversational weapons. Any instrument or instrumentality used in fighting or hunting. A part of a forked or branching shape. He broke off one of the branches. Any projection that is thought to resemble a human arm. A branch of the sewer. Grow and send out branches or branch-like structures. A natural consequence of development. Divide into two or more branches so as to form a fork. A division of some larger or more complex organization. A branch of Congress. A division of a stem, or secondary stem arising from the main stem of a plant. A stream or river connected to a larger one. Any projection that is thought to resemble a human arm. Any of the main branches arising from the trunk or a bough of a tree. Astronomy. The circumferential edge of the apparent disk of the sun or the moon or a planet. Either of the two halves of a bow from handle to tip. The upper limb of the bow. One of the jointed appendages of an animal used for locomotion or grasping. Arm, leg, wing, flipper. The graduated arc that is attached to an instrument for measuring angles. The limb of the sextant. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. A section of a section. A part of a part, i.e., a part of something already divided. A division of some larger or more complex organization. An area composed of subdivided lots. The act of subdividing. Division of something previously divided. The part of a garment that is attached at the armhole and that provides a cloth covering for the arm. Small case into which an object fits. Change the use of and make available or usable. Bolster or strengthen. Build up confidence. Form or accumulate steadily. Prepare oneself for a military confrontation. Enlarge, develop, or increase by degrees or in stages. Build up your savings. Add alcohol to beverages. Make strong or stronger. Prepare oneself for a military confrontation. Enclose by or as if by a fortification. Add nutrients to. Bind with something round or circular. Put a girdle on or around. Gird your loins. Prepare oneself for a military confrontation. The U.S. is girding for a conflict in the Middle East. Write an instrumental score for any of various devices or contrivances that can be used to produce musical tones or sounds. The means whereby some act is accomplished. My greed was the instrument of my destruction. A person used by another to gain an end. Law. A document that states some contractual relationship or grants some right. The semantic role of the entity, usually inanimate, that the agent uses to perform an action or start a process. Address a legal document to. A device that requires skill for proper use. Equip with instruments for measuring, recording, or controlling. The acoustic phenomenon that gives sound a penetrating quality. Our ukuleles have been designed to have superior sound and projection. A planned undertaking. The act of expelling or projecting or ejecting. The act of projecting out from something. Any solid convex shape that jets out from something. Any structure that branches out from a central support. A prediction made by extrapolating from past observations. Psychiatry. A defense mechanism by which your own traits and emotions are attributed to someone else. The projection of an image from a film onto a screen. The representation of a figure or solid on a plane as it would look from a particular direction. A group of ships of similar type. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The BBC's engineering division. The act of dividing or partitioning. Separation by the creation of a boundary that divides or keeps apart. Discord that splits a group. A league ranked by quality. A unit of the United States Air Force usually comprising 2 or more wings. An administrative unit in government or business. An arithmetic operation that is the inverse of multiplication. The quotient of 2 numbers is computed. An army unit large enough to sustain combat. 2 infantry divisions were held in reserve. Biology. A group of organisms forming a subdivision of a larger category. Botany. Taxonomic unit of plants corresponding to a phylum. The act or process of dividing. A covering made of cloth. Give something useful or necessary to. Melt, fat or lard, in order to separate out impurities. Render fat in a casserole. Give an interpretation or rendition of. The pianist rendered the Beethoven sonata beautifully. Bestow. Render thanks. To surrender someone or something to another. Render up the prisoners. Give or supply. The estate render some revenue for the family. Pass down. Render a verdict. Show in, or as in, a picture. The face of the child is rendered with much tenderness in this painting. Restate. Words, from one language into another language. She rendered the French poem into English. Give back. Render money. Make over as a return. They had to render the estate. A substance similar to stucco but exclusively applied to masonry walls. Cause to become. The shot rendered her immobile. Coat with plastic or cement. Render the brick walls in the den. Give something useful or necessary to. Provide or equip with furniture. We furnished the house in the Biedermeier style. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Supply blankets for the beds. Give something useful or necessary to. State or say further. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The activity of supplying or providing something. An amount of something available for use. Offering goods and services for sale. Give something useful or necessary to. We provided the room with an electrical heater. Supply means of subsistence. Earn a living. He provides for his large family by working 3 jobs. Mount or put up. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The hostess provided lunch for all the guests. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. This procedure provides for lots of leeway. Determine what is to happen in certain contingencies, especially by including a proviso condition or stipulation. The will provides that each child should receive half of the money. Take measures in preparation for. Provide for the proper care of the passengers on the cruise ship. A support for the arm. An implement with a shaft and barbed point used for catching fish. A long pointed rod used as a tool or weapon. Thrust up like a spear. The branch speared up into the air. Pierce with a spear. Spearfish. A mixture used by Byzantine Greeks that was often shot at adversaries, catches fire when wetted. Any long thin projection that is transient. Use a knife on. The victim was knifed to death. A weapon with a handle and blade with a sharp point. Edge tool used as a cutting instrument. Has a pointed blade with a sharp edge and a handle. Used in the plural, a small metal weapon, worn over the knuckles on the back of the hand. Used in the plural, a small metal weapon, worn over the knuckles on the back of the hand. Used in the plural, a small metal weapon, worn over the knuckles on the back of the hand. A surgical knife with a pointed double-edged blade, used for punctures and small incisions. An implement with a shaft and barbed point used for catching fish. A long pointed rod used as a tool or weapon. Move quickly, as if by cutting one's way. Planes lanced towards the shore. Open by piercing with a lancet. Lance a boil. Pierce with a lance, as in a knight's fight. A hand-operated pump that resembles a pistol, forces grease into parts of a machine. Large but transportable armament. A person who shoots a gun, as regards their ability. A pedal that controls the throttle valve. A professional killer who uses a gun. A weapon that discharges a missile at high velocity, especially from a metal tube or barrel. Shoot with a gun. The discharge of a firearm as signal or as a salute in military ceremonies. 2 runners started before the gun. A rifle or pistol. A weapon that squirts ignited fuel for several yards. A weapon consisting of a ship carrying explosives that is set adrift to destroy enemy ships. Weapon consisting of a fighting axe, used by North American Indians. A small axe with a short handle used with one hand, usually to chop wood.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.